Now, what is the next change that we can think of? By around the 12th week of development, the hepatic cells. What are these cells? These are the cells which have come from the endoderm, and these are the cells which line the biliary tracts. So, these cells form bile. And you will notice already we have had the biliary passage, we have had the bile duct, we have had the cystic duct, we have had the gallbladder, and what can be called the common bile duct later on enters into the gut. So, when the liver actually starts forming the bile, the biliary passage is quite well established and bile makes its way into the developing gut. So, it can be seen at that stage the contents of the developing gut will become dark green in color because of the production of bile which makes its way into the developing gut. Positional changes happen in the duodenum which cause a change in the entry of the bile duct into the duodenum. Now, we go back to the same picture that we are familiar with. This is the liver here, and you see this structure, this light green structure which is coming out, that can be called the hepatic duct. Yes, and here is the cystic duct, here is the gallbladder. So, this is the common bile duct. The common bile duct, by illustration here, is shown to be opening into the anterior aspect of the duodenum. However, because of positional changes, now this is clearer. That was an illustration. So, it shows the ventral aspect of the duodenum, and in the dorsal aspect you find the pancreas, but then we know also that the ventral pancreatic bud had moved here. So, we will go to this picture which shows it better. You find the liver here. This is the biliary passage which is coming, the bile duct, the gallbladder, the cystic duct, the hepatic duct here, the common bile duct. This can be the ventral pancreatic duct, bud, the dorsal pancreatic bud. But because of rotational changes and positional changes, you see what has happened. The original entry of the biliary pathway into the ventral aspect of the duodenum has now come to occupy the dorsal aspect or the posterior aspect, from anterior to posterior. This is the area where it is opening, and this opening will mark the junction of the foregut part of the duodenum with the midgut part of the duodenum. This is the line which is immediately distal to the opening of the biliary passage, biliary pathway, or we can say immediately distal to the liver outpouching. However, what we are now interested is there is a complete shift of this entry point from the anterior to the posterior aspect.